Imagine yourself walking along a quiet, lantern-lit street in Japan, sometime in the 1800s. The air is soft, carrying the scent of blooming cherry trees and distant incense from small temples. The sound of wooden sandals tapping on smooth stones echoes gently through the night. In one narrow alley, you notice a small cluster of buildings, carefully arranged, their sliding doors polished and their windows covered with thin rice paper. Inside, life continues almost like a quiet play. This is the world of the Oiran, the high-class courtesans of Edo, women trained in music, dance, conversation, and the art of elegance. Their lives were carefully structured, measured, and highly visible, yet deeply constrained by the rules of society. Tonight, we will gently wander into that world, imagining what it might have been like to live there, to work there, and to navigate the complexities of love, expectation, and secret desires. Before we begin, take a moment to get comfortable. Pull your blanket close, settle into your favorite spot, and let your body relax. If you enjoy this quiet journey through history, please subscribe so you can explore more stories like this. Leave a comment below telling us where you're tuning in from. It could be your city, your country, or even somewhere far away. Sharing where you are adds a gentle connection to this calm, shared experience. Now, with your blanket wrapped around you and the world outside fading softly away, imagine the soft glow of lanterns reflecting on polished wood, the faint rustle of silk, and the subtle hum of life within these quiet streets. Let's begin our gentle journey into the world of the Oiran. Daily life immersion, the world of an Oiran. Imagine yourself stepping into the private chambers of an Oiran, a woman trained from a young age to move gracefully, speak softly, and create an atmosphere of beauty and refinement. Her mornings might begin before dawn, as the soft light of paper lanterns glimmers across polished floors. Her attendants help her dress in layers of silk, carefully folding each piece of fabric so that it sits perfectly, while the delicate scent of perfume and powdered cosmetics fills the room. The Oiran's life is a rhythm of precision and routine. She practices music on a shamisen, the strings producing gentle, calming tones. She studies poetry, calligraphy, and conversation, preparing herself to entertain visitors with charm and intelligence. Every movement, every gesture has meaning. Imagine the patience it takes to maintain such a performance day after day, the careful attention to detail, and the constant awareness of the gaze of others. Yet, behind the silk and makeup, there is a strict set of rules. Oiran are expected to remain unmarried and childless, maintaining an image of refinement and availability for those who visit them. In this way, their product is not only skill and beauty, but also the illusion of a life entirely devoted to their craft. You can almost hear the soft rustle of their silk as they move, a constant reminder of the balance between appearance and reality. Life outside these chambers is a different rhythm entirely. The streets of the pleasure quarters are alive with the muted sounds of vendors, the occasional laugh of a passing visitor, and the quiet footsteps of apprentices running errands. Imagine yourself blending into the background, observing the delicate patterns of daily life, the way society interacts with these women, and the subtle hierarchies that govern every interaction. Each day is measured, each moment choreographed, a constant dance of etiquette and performance. In this world, personal desires are often hidden. The possibility of love, illness, or pregnancy is a quiet concern, something that must be carefully managed, often behind closed doors. Imagine the delicate tension of maintaining grace and composure while facing personal challenges. An Oiran might feel a longing for family or companionship, yet society demands that she present herself as flawless, singular, and entirely devoted to her work. The contrast between public appearance and private reality is constant, a quiet shadow that follows her through every interaction. Her meals, simple yet elegant, are often taken in solitude or with her attendants, and she drinks tea slowly, savoring its warmth. Every action, from washing her hands to adjusting her kimono, is performed with mindful attention. Imagine the repetition of this life, day after day, month after month, and the subtle comfort that comes from structure, even as it limits freedom. The rhythm of her days is both soothing and restrictive, a gentle pattern that soothes the mind even as it quietly reminds her of what she cannot have. And yet, despite these constraints, Oiran find ways to express individuality. The choice of hair ornaments, the color of silk, the style of calligraphy, these small details allow glimpses of personality within a highly controlled life. Imagine the satisfaction she might feel when a visitor praises her poetry, or when her dance moves elicit a soft, appreciative murmur. These are moments of quiet triumph, gentle acknowledgments of skill and effort, woven into the careful tapestry of her daily life. Now, imagine yourself stepping back from this room, from this life of careful routine and quiet elegance. You leave the rustle of silk behind and walk along the softly lit streets, listening to the faint hum of distant music and the muted voices of a city that never truly sleeps. You carry with you the awareness that life for an Oiran is a mixture of beauty and constraint, public performance and private longing, a delicate balance that must be maintained every day. In this calm, measured rhythm of daily life, there lies the subtle tension of personal possibility, the quiet question of what happens when the rules of society meet the unpredictability of human experience. And it is here, in this gentle balance between duty and desire, that we begin to consider the more intimate challenges, the private questions, and the delicate choices faced by those who live in this refined yet constrained world. I've completed the introduction and segment 1. This sets the calming tone, immerses the listener in the daily life of an Oiran, and gently hints at deeper challenges, including pregnancy, without rushing or being dramatic. The life of a pregnant Oiran. Imagine a young woman named Kiku, an Oiran in the bustling pleasure quarters of Edo in the early 1800s. Her days are filled with the careful rituals of her profession, from practicing her dance to preparing her elaborate kimonos. She is admired for her beauty, her skill with poetry, and her gentle conversation. Visitors come from far and near, hoping to spend time in her presence, to enjoy the elegance she so carefully cultivates. Now, imagine that one quiet morning, after a night with a devoted client, Kika discovers that she is pregnant. The news is a soft, heavy weight settling into her chest, a secret she cannot share openly. Society does not allow an Oiran to display the vulnerability of motherhood. The illusion of perfection, of single-minded dedication to her art, must be maintained. In her world, a child is not simply a new life, but a challenge to the carefully constructed persona she must present each day. Kika faces a series of delicate choices. Some Oiran might quietly leave the profession, returning to the home of family or relatives to give birth. Others might arrange for discreet medical care, including the possibility of abortion, which was practiced in Edo period Japan, often in secret. Still, some women managed to hide their pregnancies, continuing to work while keeping attendants or trusted allies to care for the child, feeding them and bathing them in hidden corners of the household. Imagine Kika moving through her daily routine, her kimono wrapped precisely around her form, her hair arranged in perfect style. To her clients, she appears untouched by personal concerns, her conversation smooth, her laughter soft and rehearsed. Yet behind the polished appearance, she carries a private world, filled with quiet anxieties and gentle preparations. Perhaps she slips away during the early hours to meet a midwife, or to leave offerings of food and warmth for a child she cannot yet openly claim. Each step is taken with care, as though she is walking on a narrow bridge suspended between two worlds. Some Oiran were able to maintain their profession while quietly raising a child, though this required careful management and the support of loyal attendants. Children might be hidden away with relatives, or raised in secret within the household. Imagine the small gestures of affection Kiku could manage. A soft touch on a tiny hand, a whispered lullaby, stolen moments of intimacy in the quietest hours of the night. These are the hidden patterns of life that allowed both work and motherhood to exist, though never in full view. The social consequences of pregnancy were serious. A visible pregnancy could bring shame or the end of an Oiran's career, disrupting the delicate balance of reputation and performance that allowed her to work and survive. Yet, in these carefully contained circumstances, Oiran like Kiku found ways to navigate the rules, combining discretion, resilience, and the loyalty of trusted allies. Imagine the quiet determination of her life, the measured rhythm of walking along the polished corridors, of preparing tea for a visiting client, of folding silks with hands that secretly carry the warmth of new life. Each gesture is performed with precision and grace, a living testament to the complex blend of duty and personal longing. The contrast between the calm exterior and the intimate, private world within is subtle, but deeply human. Kika's story also reflects broader cultural norms. In Edo Japan, prostitution, especially in the licensed pleasure quarters, was a structured and socially accepted profession. Yet within this acceptance, there were strict expectations for presentation, for availability, and for the careful cultivation of an image. Pregnancy interrupted that balance, creating challenges that had to be handled quietly, with discretion and ingenuity. Imagine the gentle rhythm of her days, moving between performance and privacy, between social expectation and personal reality. Each morning begins with careful preparation. Each evening concludes with reflection and quiet tending to hidden needs. In this space, the life of an Oiran is not simply a performance of elegance, but also a practice of adaptability, resilience, and careful management of personal and social pressures. And as we leave Kiku for a moment, imagine the soft glow of lantern light fading along the streets of Edo, the hum of distant music and conversation fading into quiet. Her story is a gentle reminder that even in a world designed for appearance and control, human life finds ways to assert itself, quietly and persistently. These are the subtle rhythms of history, the private lives that move beneath the surface of public expectation, and the careful choices that define the daily existence of those who live within tightly structured social systems. Secrets behind the Oiran lifestyle. Imagine yourself in the narrow lanes of the pleasure quarters, wandering slowly past the polished wooden buildings, listening to the muted sound of a shamisen in the distance. The streets themselves seem to hold secrets, whispering stories of lives carefully constructed, appearances maintained, and private worlds hidden behind sliding doors. The culture of the Oiran was layered, not only in silk and cosmetics, but also in rules, traditions, and subtle rituals that shaped every interaction. One mystery of the Oiran world is the hidden network that allowed some women to manage personal matters like pregnancy, illness, or aging while still maintaining the polished exterior expected by clients. These women relied on trusted attendants, midwives, and family members. Imagine a quiet room behind a sliding door, where a midwife carefully measures ingredients for herbal medicine, tending to the delicate balance of health and discretion. Here, a secret world exists parallel to the visible performance of elegance, a space where human needs are met in silence and privacy. The Oiran were also deeply embedded in the culture of arts and refinement. Dance, music, poetry, and calligraphy were not simply hobbies, but essential skills that defined social status and appeal. Imagine the soft pluck of the shamisen strings echoing through a dimly lit room, the slow, deliberate movements of a dance that has been perfected over years of training. Each gesture is meaningful, each word carefully chosen, and yet, within this formal structure, small acts of individuality could shine. The pattern of an embroidered kimono, the choice of a hairpin, or the particular cadence of speech could subtly communicate personality, emotion, and even personal secrets. Archaeological research and historical records reveal glimpses of these hidden aspects. Fragments of hairpins, lacquered combs, and embroidered kimono sleeves have been found in storage areas, sometimes buried beneath the floors of old buildings. Imagine discovering these items, each a quiet witness to a life lived both publicly and privately, to choices made behind closed doors, and to moments of personal triumph and sorrow. These objects suggest a careful management of appearance, but also hint at the daily realities that were often kept secret, such as childbirth, illness, or personal loss. Another intriguing aspect is the way Oiran navigated social hierarchies and expectations. They operated in a system where status was highly visible, where the distinction between high-ranking courtesans and lower-ranked workers was carefully maintained. Yet, even within these strict structures, there were small pockets of flexibility. Imagine the subtle negotiations, the careful timing of interactions, the whispered agreements between a client, an attendant, and the Oiran herself. Every move was measured, every gesture meaningful, revealing a culture that valued both discretion and sophistication. Pregnancy, as we considered in the previous segment, was one of those quiet challenges that had to be managed with ingenuity and care. Historical accounts suggest that some children born to Oiran were quietly raised by relatives or attendants, their existence concealed from the broader social world. Imagine a tiny figure, hidden in a back room or in the care of a loyal family member, while the Oiran continues her daily performance, maintaining elegance, grace, and the illusion of availability. These stories remind us that human life, with all its unpredictability, existed even within tightly controlled social systems. The pleasure quarters themselves were spaces of subtle ritual and order. From the arrangement of lanterns to the positioning of mats and screens, every detail was designed to create an atmosphere of refinement, calm, and elegance. Imagine walking slowly through such a room, noting the careful placement of objects, the gentle scent of incense, and the quiet rhythm of footsteps on polished wood. Every element serves a purpose, contributing to the overall harmony, while quietly accommodating the unseen realities of the people who inhabit the space. As we leave the hidden rooms and quiet corners behind, imagine stepping outside, feeling the cool night air, and hearing the distant murmur of the city. The Oiran world, with its elegance, discipline, and hidden complexities, is a reminder that history is rarely as simple as it appears. Behind the visible performance, there are layers of personal experience, secret networks, and subtle cultural practices that shape lives in ways that are both fascinating and quietly profound. The world around the Oiran. Imagine stepping back from the private chambers and quiet corridors of the Oiran, and turning your attention to the broader society in which she lives. Edo period Japan was a world of strict social hierarchies, where each person's role was clearly defined, and where the lives of ordinary citizens, merchants, samurai, and elite courtesans existed in parallel yet rarely overlapped fully. The world of the Oiran may seem isolated, but it is deeply connected to the rhythms, expectations, and structures of the city around her. Picture the samurai, moving through the streets with measured steps, their swords tucked neatly at their sides, their posture a constant reminder of status and duty. They are expected to embody honor, discipline, and loyalty, and to uphold the rigid rules of their class. Their daily life involves training, study, and governance, often marked by restraint and ceremony. In contrast, the Oiran must cultivate an image of elegance and availability, her days filled with social performance, artistic skill, and careful management of appearances. Though their worlds are different, there are subtle points of intersection, especially when samurai, merchants, or other elites enter the pleasure quarters in search of refined company. Now imagine the merchants, busy with trade and profit, moving through markets filled with color, noise, and the faint scent of food and spices. Their concerns are practical, profit margins, negotiations, and social connections. But when they visit the pleasure quarters, they enter a space of controlled elegance, where every gesture and word is measured. The Oiran's world offers them a respite, a place to witness refinement, and a glimpse of a life carefully curated for beauty and grace. The contrast is striking. One world bustling with commerce, another filled with ritual and performance, each dependent on the other in subtle, almost invisible ways. The children of ordinary families live yet another rhythm. They are taught basic skills, perhaps apprenticed in a trade, helping their families with chores and learning social expectations from a young age. Their lives are shaped by necessity and responsibility rather than display and performance. Imagine the small hands sweeping streets, carrying baskets of rice, or following elders through the marketplace. These children grow up observing hierarchies and learning their place within the system, much as the Oiran learns hers, though in very different ways. The pleasure quarters themselves are carefully managed spaces, almost like miniature cities. There are layers of hierarchy even among the women who work there. Lower-ranking courtesans or apprentices assist the Oiran in maintaining her appearance and lifestyle. Attendants manage daily chores, food, and clothing. Even within the seemingly luxurious environment, there is structure, discipline, and work. Imagine the quiet movements of these assistants, ensuring that the polished floors shine, the tea is perfectly brewed, and the kimono folds rest just so. Every detail matters, as every small action contributes to the overall harmony of the space. And yet, life outside these quarters is more unpredictable. Disease, economic shifts, and social pressures affect everyone, from the highest-ranking Oiran to the poorest merchant child. Imagine the subtle worry in a family's home as a new sickness spreads through the city, or the careful negotiations of a merchant trying to protect his livelihood. These forces remind us that even within highly controlled and refined spaces, the wider rhythms of life continue, shaping choices, limiting freedom, and quietly influencing destiny. Returning to the Oiran, consider how her life intersects with these social contrasts. The elegance of her chamber, the grace of her movements, the careful performance of beauty and skill, all exist in contrast to the rigor, labor, and unpredictability of the world outside. Her private concerns, like pregnancy or illness, are managed discreetly, yet they are deeply entwined with the broader society that depends on her performance. Imagine the delicate balance required, the mental and emotional dexterity, and the quiet resilience needed to navigate such contrasts every day. And as you step away from the quarter once more, imagine standing under the soft glow of lanterns, hearing the distant sounds of footsteps, music, and conversation drifting through the night air. The world of the Oiran is one of beauty and constraint, elegance and hidden struggles, carefully intertwined with the rhythms of the broader society. It is a world that is both enchanting and quietly human, revealing how structured systems, social expectations, and individual lives coexist in a gentle, sometimes precarious harmony. Morning rituals and hidden duties. Imagine yourself waking in a softly lit room in Edo, the gentle warmth of the rising sun filtering through thin rice paper windows. Outside, the city stirs slowly, lanterns being extinguished, merchants preparing their shops, and children beginning their chores. Inside the quarters of an Oiran, the day begins quietly, with careful attention to the smallest details. Picture a young Oiran named Ayam, moving through her morning ritual. Her attendants enter the room silently, carrying trays of water warmed over a gentle fire. The scent of soap, incense, and polished wood mingles in the air. Each movement is deliberate. Ayam washes her hands, her face, and the folds of her kimono with precise, calm gestures. Imagine the rhythm of her motions, slow, measured, almost like a meditation. Every step serves to prepare her not only for the day ahead, but also to maintain the persona she must present to visitors later. After cleansing, she arranges her hair in elaborate styles that have been perfected over years of training. Hairpins and combs, lacquered and adorned with delicate patterns, are chosen with care, reflecting both her personal taste and the expectations of her clients. Imagine the gentle click of hairpins sliding into place, the soft rustle of silk as layers of kimono are wrapped around her body. These daily routines are not just preparation for work. They are a constant exercise in discipline and focus, calming the mind while shaping the outward image of elegance. Breakfast is simple, yet carefully presented: rice, pickled vegetables, and a small portion of fish. She eats slowly, savoring the flavors, while attendants quietly tidy the room. The soft clinking of bowls and chopsticks becomes part of the rhythm of the morning. Imagine the way these small, repeated actions create a sense of order and stability, a quiet comfort that carries through the day. Even as the Oiran moves through these routines, she is mindful of unseen responsibilities. Imagine the small preparations made in secret, a package of food set aside for a child being raised discreetly, or a brief meeting with a midwife to check on her health. These hidden duties are woven into her day like invisible threads, present but discreet, requiring careful attention and planning. Life within the quarters is a dance of public display and private management, a balance between elegance and necessity. Music and practice are woven into the morning as well. The Oiran may sit before a shamisen, plucking its strings slowly and deliberately. Each note echoes through the quiet room, a gentle reminder of skill and dedication. Or she may take a brush to paper, practicing calligraphy with measured strokes, feeling the smooth surface of ink and paper beneath her fingers. Imagine the soothing concentration of these practices, the way they create both discipline and gentle personal fulfillment. The morning continues with small social rituals, greeting apprentices, reviewing preparations for clients, and overseeing the cleaning of the space. Each interaction is calm, polite, and deliberate. Even simple gestures like pouring tea or folding a kimono carry significance. Imagine the satisfaction of a task done well, the quiet pride in maintaining harmony within the space, and the gentle reassurance that structure provides. And as the sun rises higher, the soft glow moving across polished floors and lacquered wood, the Oiran prepares herself for the day ahead. She steps lightly through the rooms, checking every detail, aware of both the eyes that may soon watch her and the hidden threads of private life that she must manage. The rhythm of the morning is a microcosm of her larger world, careful, measured, and full of quiet beauty, even as it accommodates unseen responsibilities. As you imagine leaving the room, stepping into the hallways, and hearing the distant sound of the city beginning its day, you carry with you the sense of calm, structure, and subtle tension that defines life for an Oiran. It is a world of disciplined beauty, of hidden responsibilities, and of careful management of both appearance and reality. In this quiet, structured rhythm, there is a gentle comfort, a sense of order that soothes the mind and prepares it for the unfolding stories of history. The story of Satsuki, a young Oiran facing choices. Imagine a young woman named Satsuki, an Oiran in the heart of Edo. Her world is one of delicate rituals, elegance, and strict social expectation. Each day, she follows routines perfected over years of training, arranging her hair with lacquered combs, folding layers of silk with precision, and practicing music and dance until every movement seems effortless. Yet beneath this outward grace lies a private world of careful choices, quiet anxieties, and personal desires. One morning, Satsuki notices a subtle change in her body. She has discovered she is pregnant, a fact that could alter the course of her life if it were to become known. The news settles gently, almost like a stone in her mind, yet it carries weight. In the world of an Oiran, pregnancy is not only a personal matter, it is a challenge to the carefully maintained image of elegance, availability, and refinement. Imagine the quiet deliberation that follows, the weighing of options, and the subtle, careful planning required to navigate the days ahead. Satsuki considers the paths available to her. Some Oiran quietly leave the profession to give birth in the care of family or trusted allies. Others seek discreet medical assistance, managing their condition with the help of midwives or herbal remedies. In some cases, children are quietly cared for by attendants, hidden from the public eye, while the Oiran continues her work. Imagine Satsuki carefully arranging for support, ensuring that the life growing within her is cared for, while still maintaining the appearance of uninterrupted grace. Despite the potential challenges, Satsuki continues her daily routines. Each morning, she wakes before dawn, allowing her attendants to prepare her room and arrange her garments. The subtle fragrance of incense mixes with the warmth of tea and the faint scent of polished wood. Imagine the careful steps she takes as she moves through her room, washing her hands, adjusting layers of kimono, and selecting ornaments that reflect both her status and her personal taste. Every action is deliberate, measured, and performed with quiet mindfulness. Satsuki's interactions with clients continue, but with an added layer of careful management. She must preserve the persona her visitors expect, graceful, attentive, and entirely devoted to the art of conversation, music, and dance, while carrying the knowledge of her private condition. Imagine her speaking softly, smiling gently, and performing rituals of elegance, all while maintaining the inner awareness of the life growing within her. The contrast between visible performance and hidden reality is subtle but profound. Her story also reflects the broader cultural context. Edo period Japan was a society that accepted prostitution within licensed pleasure quarters, but with strict expectations for conduct and presentation. Oiran were highly trained and valued, yet their personal freedoms were limited. Pregnancy, illness, or aging could disrupt the delicate balance between public image and private reality. Satsuki's careful navigation of these circumstances highlights the ingenuity, resilience, and discretion required to live within this structured world. Imagine Satsuki at night, after her clients have left, sitting quietly in her room. Perhaps she writes a small note, sketches a poem, or whispers softly to the child she may never openly acknowledge. These moments are private and deeply human, offering a gentle contrast to the polished exterior demanded by her work. They remind us that behind every carefully arranged gesture, there are lives full of choices, concerns, and quiet courage. As we leave Satsuki for now, imagine stepping outside into the soft, lantern-lit streets, feeling the subtle breeze, and listening to the distant hum of the city. Her story, like those of other Oiran, is one of grace, discipline, and careful management of private and public life. It is a story that reveals the human side of history, the quiet complexity of personal experience, and the gentle resilience of those navigating worlds shaped by strict social expectation. Hidden practices and cultural rituals. Imagine yourself walking through the quiet, lantern-lit streets of Edo's pleasure quarters, the soft sounds of footsteps and distant shamisen music drifting through the night. The world of the Oiran is full of carefully maintained appearances, but beneath these layers of elegance and performance, there exists a hidden culture, rich with rituals, subtle practices, and quiet secrets. One of the more fascinating aspects of Oiran life was the network of attendants, midwives, and helpers who managed private matters behind the scenes. Imagine a small, dimly lit room, where a midwife gently prepares herbal remedies, carefully measuring ingredients to promote health and manage delicate conditions. In these spaces, private realities like pregnancy or illness could be addressed quietly, without disrupting the performance demanded by society. It is a hidden layer of support that allowed the Oiran to continue their daily lives while navigating personal challenges. Another subtle element of Oiran culture was the use of objects as silent communication. Hairpins, combs, and jewelry were not only decorative, they often indicated rank, personal taste, or social messaging. Imagine a carefully placed ornamental pin, its position conveying a quiet signal to attendants or clients about the Oiran's status, mood, or even private concerns. These objects reveal a sophisticated understanding of visual language, where every detail is meaningful, yet communicated without words. Archaeological discoveries provide glimpses into these hidden worlds. Fragments of embroidered silk, lacquered combs, and ornate trays have been uncovered in old storage areas beneath the floors of pleasure quarters. Each artifact carries the imprint of daily life, traces of routines, personal expression, and even concealed challenges. Imagine holding a delicate hairpin, noting the small nicks and polish marks, and sensing the careful hands that once arranged it. These objects quietly tell stories of resilience, discretion, and artistry. The rituals of daily life also extended to food, music, and seasonal celebrations. Imagine an Oiran preparing for a small tea gathering, arranging sweets on lacquered trays, and carefully brewing delicate green tea. The presentation is both practical and symbolic, reflecting training, taste, and the refinement of skill. Music was woven into daily practice, from the gentle pluck of a shamisen string to the measured rhythm of a dance. Each movement and note was part of a larger cultural tapestry, blending artistry with social expectation. Even the architecture of the pleasure quarters carried meaning. Sliding doors, polished floors, and carefully placed screens created spaces that allowed for both performance and privacy. Imagine walking through these hallways, the soft click of wooden sandals echoing lightly, noticing how rooms were arranged to allow secretive movement, private meetings, and hidden care for children or attendants. The environment itself supported a culture of discretion, elegance, and carefully maintained hierarchy. Pregnancy, illness, or other private matters were quietly integrated into these systems. Historical accounts suggest that some Oiran discreetly gave birth with the help of midwives, while trusted attendants cared for children in secrecy. Imagine the gentle coordination required, the quiet understanding between women, and the hidden support networks that made these private lives possible. This hidden dimension of Oiran culture shows us the ingenuity and resilience required to navigate both societal expectation and personal circumstance. As you step back and imagine the soft glow of lanterns fading in the night, you carry with you the awareness that history is layered. Behind every public performance, every carefully arranged kimono, and every delicate gesture, there exists a private world filled with quiet rituals, hidden responsibilities, and thoughtful care. The Oiran were not only skilled in art and conversation, but also in the subtle management of life itself, balancing societal expectations with personal realities in ways both delicate and profound. The society surrounding the Oiran. Imagine stepping out of the carefully arranged rooms of the pleasure quarters into the wider streets of Edo. The city is alive with a variety of lives, each following its own rhythm, structured by social class, occupation, and custom. The world of the Oiran is both connected to and distinct from these other lives, and by observing these contrasts, we gain a deeper understanding of the society in which she lived. Picture the samurai, walking with measured, deliberate steps, their swords a constant reminder of status and responsibility. They dedicate themselves to training, governance, and maintaining honor, their lives structured by strict codes of conduct. In contrast, the Oiran's world is a performance of beauty, art, and social grace, requiring attention to gesture, conversation, and appearance. Yet, despite these differences, the two worlds intersect. Samurai, merchants, and other elites come to the quarters seeking elegance, entertainment, and companionship, relying on the Oiran to provide a carefully curated experience. The merchants of Edo offer another point of contrast. Imagine bustling markets filled with noise, scents of food, and the calls of vendors. Merchants are concerned with trade, profit, and social connections. Yet when they enter the pleasure quarters, they leave behind the chaos of the streets and step into an environment of order, refinement, and subtle ritual. The Oiran provides an oasis of calm and beauty, and the exchange between her world and the visitors highlights the intricate social dance of Edo society. Even ordinary families lived in structured routines dictated by necessity and tradition. Children were apprenticed, households managed tasks, and each family member contributed to daily survival. Imagine a child carefully carrying rice or helping in a shop, learning discipline and responsibility. Their lives contrast sharply with the polished, choreographed movements of the Oiran, yet both are shaped by expectation, social order, and the rhythm of daily life. Within the pleasure quarters, hierarchy is everywhere. The Oiran stands at the top, with lower-ranked courtesans, apprentices, and attendants supporting her daily needs. Every gesture, from serving tea to adjusting kimono folds, is part of a system designed to maintain elegance and order. Imagine the quiet movements of assistants polishing floors, preparing garments, and ensuring that the Oiran's world remains uninterrupted. This microcosm mirrors larger societal structures, where every individual knows their role, and every action supports the harmony of the group. Yet outside the quarters, unpredictability reigns. Disease, economic shifts, and political changes affect all layers of society. Families worry about livelihood, merchants calculate risk, and samurai respond to edicts from above. Within the quarters, the Oiran must navigate these external pressures while maintaining her performance. Imagine the careful balance required, managing private health, hidden responsibilities, and social appearances, all while the city hums around her. This contrast between structured elegance and external unpredictability illuminates the careful planning and subtle resilience required of an Oiran. She moves gracefully through a world of performance and appearance, yet she is constantly aware of the wider currents that influence her life. Imagine standing at the edge of the quarter, seeing the lantern light reflect off polished wood, hearing the distant hum of the city, and sensing both the beauty and the delicate tensions of this society. Through these contrasts, we begin to appreciate the full complexity of Edo period Japan. The Oiran's world is not isolated. It is intimately connected to the broader rhythms of life, yet carefully maintained as a space of order, refinement, and subtle control. This perspective allows us to see how individual lives are shaped by society and how grace, discipline, and quiet ingenuity are essential to navigating a world structured by hierarchy and expectation. Evenings and private moments. Imagine the soft glow of lanterns illuminating the quiet streets of Edo as evening falls. The city slows down, shadows stretch across the polished wooden buildings, and a gentle hush begins to settle over the pleasure quarters. Inside, the Oiran prepares for the evening with the same care and attention she applies to every part of her day. Picture a woman named Haruko, an Oiran, moving through her chambers as the last light of day fades. Her attendants enter silently, arranging her garments, offering warm tea, and preparing small dishes for a light evening meal. Imagine the rhythmic motions of folding silk, adjusting hairpins, and brushing powdered faces. Every action performed with precision, calm, and grace. These movements are almost meditative, a quiet preparation for the night ahead. Evenings are often spent receiving visitors, and the Oiran must be poised, attentive, and engaging. Imagine the subtle art of conversation, responding to questions with measured words, offering gentle laughter, and guiding discussions with soft intelligence. Music fills the room, the pluck of a shamisen, the gentle tap of wooden clogs on polished floors, or the delicate sound of singing. Each note and movement is deliberate, creating an atmosphere of calm refinement, elegance, and comfort. Yet beyond the public performance, there are private moments that require discretion. Perhaps Haruko must tend to personal matters, such as the care of a child hidden away, or quietly consulting a midwife about her health. These hidden responsibilities are woven into the evening with subtlety and care, never interrupting the performance expected of her. Imagine the gentle tension of managing these parallel realities, the outward display of perfection and the quiet, private needs that must be met without notice. Meals are taken with care, often in small, quiet portions. Rice, fish, and pickled vegetables are arranged in lacquered trays, and tea is poured slowly, each action deliberate. Imagine the sensory details, the faint scent of incense mingling with the aroma of cooked rice, the warm smoothness of lacquer under fingertips, and the quiet hum of the city outside the paper windows. These small, repeated actions create a sense of structure and comfort, even as the day winds down. Haruko's evenings may also include preparation for future performances, practicing dance, rehearsing conversation, or refining the art of her attire. Imagine her sitting with a brush and ink, composing a short poem, or adjusting the folds of her kimono in the soft lamplight. Every gesture is infused with purpose and subtle artistry, blending skill with quiet introspection. In these hours, the boundary between public display and private reflection is especially delicate. The Oiran must navigate social expectation while attending to personal needs, often in ways that remain invisible to outsiders. Imagine the calm patience, the careful planning, and the quiet resilience required to maintain this balance, night after night. As evening deepens, the soft glow of lanterns shifts to a gentle darkness, and the Oiran retreats briefly to rest or reflection. Imagine the sense of completion after a carefully executed day, the quiet satisfaction in having maintained grace, performed skillfully, and managed hidden responsibilities. It is a rhythm that comforts and steadies, a measured conclusion to the day, offering both structure and gentle introspection. Stepping back, imagine yourself leaving the quarter for a moment, feeling the cool evening air and hearing the faint, distant hum of the city. The life of an Oiran, with its carefully measured evenings and private moments, is both beautiful and disciplined, revealing the subtle ways in which humans navigate structured expectation, personal responsibility, and hidden challenges. The life of Fumiko, balancing duty and personal desire. Imagine a young Oiran named Fumiko, whose life is a delicate balance between public expectation and private longing. Each day, she wakes before dawn, moving through her morning routines with careful precision. Her attendants help her dress in layers of silk, arrange her hair, and prepare her room for the day. Imagine the soft rustle of fabric, the gentle scent of incense, and the quiet hum of a city slowly awakening. These small details shape the rhythm of her life, creating order, discipline, and a calming structure. Fumiko's work is both art and performance. She speaks with measured grace, entertains with music and dance, and offers her clients moments of refined companionship. Imagine the gentle pluck of the shamisen, the soft cadence of her voice, and the delicate gestures of her hands, all contributing to the illusion of perfection that society expects. Her public persona is polished, practiced, and precise, yet beneath it lies a private world full of personal concerns and subtle desires. One day, Fumiko discovers she is pregnant. The news is quiet but significant, a hidden weight that she must carry carefully. In the world of the Oiran, pregnancy could disrupt the carefully cultivated image of elegance and availability. Imagine the gentle deliberation she experiences, weighing her options and quietly planning for the weeks and months ahead. Some Oiran discreetly leave the profession to give birth. Others arrange for private care while continuing to work, and some rely on loyal attendants to manage hidden responsibilities. Fumiko must decide how to navigate her own path within these constraints. Her days continue with the same meticulous routine, even as her private concerns grow. Imagine her arranging silk robes with slightly more care, consulting with a trusted midwife in secret, or quietly checking on preparations for a child she may never publicly acknowledge. Each movement, each action, blends the demands of performance with the realities of personal life. The contrast between outward composure and inner concern is subtle but profound, reflecting the quiet strength required to maintain balance. Fumiko also navigates relationships within the pleasure quarters. Attendants, fellow Oiran, and family members provide support, advice, and discretion. Imagine the soft understanding between women who share knowledge of hidden realities, offering guidance and care while maintaining silence in public. These networks of trust allow Fumiko to manage her private situation without disrupting the delicate structure of her public life. At night, after clients have departed, Fumiko may retreat to her private quarters, reflecting on her choices and the life growing within her. Imagine her seated with a brush and paper, composing a short poem, or quietly tending to a small bundle of clothing prepared for the child. These moments are gentle, intimate, and deeply human, providing solace and perspective amid the structured demands of her profession. Fumiko's story illustrates the broader context of Edo period Japan, where Oiran were highly skilled and socially valued, yet constrained by expectations of appearance, availability, and performance. Pregnancy, illness, or personal desire could quietly challenge these norms, requiring ingenuity, discretion, and resilience. Imagine the careful balance she maintains, moving gracefully through her daily routines, managing hidden responsibilities, and finding quiet moments of reflection and care. As we leave Fumiko for a moment, imagine stepping into the quiet streets of the pleasure quarters at night. The lanterns glow softly, the distant hum of the city is calming, and the rhythm of life continues gently. Her story, like those of other Oiran, reflects the delicate balance of duty, personal experience, and social expectation, offering a gentle insight into the hidden realities of life in Edo, Japan. Rituals and hidden knowledge. Imagine yourself wandering through the softly lit corridors of Edo's pleasure quarters, where every shadow and shimmer of light seems to hold a secret. The world of the Oiran is rich in ritual and artistry, but beneath the visible elegance, there exists a hidden layer of culture, carefully preserved and quietly practiced. One intriguing aspect is the role of attendants, midwives, and trusted helpers who maintain the hidden realities of Oiran life. Imagine a small room tucked away behind sliding doors, dimly lit by a single lantern. Here, a midwife carefully prepares herbal remedies, tending to matters that must remain invisible to the outside world. Pregnancies, minor illnesses, and other personal needs are managed with discretion, allowing the Oiran to maintain her public persona. These hidden practices were vital, supporting both health and the delicate balance between personal life and social expectation. Another fascinating element is the symbolic use of objects. Hairpins, combs, and ornaments were more than decoration. They conveyed subtle messages. Imagine a single hairpin placed precisely, signaling rank, availability, or personal status. Each item carries meaning, silently communicating between the Oiran, her attendants, and even the most observant clients. Archaeological discoveries such as lacquered combs, embroidered silk fragments, and delicately decorated trays give us a glimpse into this quiet world. Each artifact tells a story of care, ritual, and hidden complexity. Music and art were also woven into daily routines. Imagine the gentle strumming of a shamisen, the soft echo of a wooden floor beneath delicate steps, or the measured brushstrokes of calligraphy on fine paper. These practices were both personal and performative, blending skill with ritual and reinforcing the discipline, grace, and calm expected of the Oiran. In this way, artistry becomes a medium for both expression and subtle social communication. Even the architecture of the quarters was designed for both elegance and discretion. Sliding doors, polished floors, and screens allowed for private movement, secret gatherings, and hidden care for children or attendants. Imagine the gentle click of wooden sandals on polished wood, the quiet whisper of silk sliding against itself, and the soft shadows cast by lantern light. Every detail of the space supports the delicate balance of public appearance and private reality. Hidden rituals extended to daily activities as well. Meals were arranged carefully on lacquered trays, tea was brewed with precision, and small gestures of care, checking on a child or ensuring a midwife's preparations, were woven seamlessly into daily life. These practices allowed Oiran to navigate the demands of their public roles while attending to private responsibilities. Imagine the quiet satisfaction of completing these tasks with care, the gentle rhythm of routine offering structure and comfort. Finally, these hidden practices reflect a broader cultural understanding of discretion, social order, and resilience. The Oiran were not only performers of elegance and art, they were masters of subtlety, organization, and private negotiation. Their lives illustrate how individuals adapt to strict social expectations while maintaining personal agency and dignity. Imagine the quiet strength required to balance these worlds, the gentle ingenuity needed to navigate hidden responsibilities, and the resilience cultivated through years of careful practice. As you step back from these hidden rooms and corridors, imagine the lantern light fading, the faint sounds of the city at night drifting softly. The hidden world of the Oiran, rich in ritual, artistry, and subtle communication, offers a window into the delicate and disciplined lives that history often overlooks. It is a world where elegance, discretion, and quiet ingenuity coexist, leaving behind traces of human resilience and refined culture. The world surrounding the Oiran. Imagine stepping outside the polished quarters into the bustling streets of Edo. The city is alive with a multitude of lives, each following its own rhythm and shaped by social hierarchy. The world of the Oiran exists within this framework, a space of refinement, performance, and delicate balance, contrasting sharply with the lives of samurai, merchants, and ordinary townspeople. Picture the samurai walking with measured steps, swords tucked neatly at their sides, embodying honor, discipline, and social responsibility. Their daily life consists of rigorous training, governance, and adherence to strict codes of conduct. In contrast, the Oiran's world revolves around performance, elegance, and social grace. Yet these worlds intersect as samurai, merchants, and elites visit the pleasure quarters seeking refined companionship, conversation, and artistry, relying on the Oiran to create an atmosphere of calm sophistication. The merchants, too, present a contrast. Imagine busy markets filled with the clatter of commerce, the aroma of cooked rice and spices, and the vibrant exchange of goods. Their lives are practical, concerned with profit and social connections. When they enter the pleasure quarters, however, they step into a space of order and refinement. The Oiran provides a controlled environment of elegance, offering calm, cultivated interaction in contrast to the bustle of trade and negotiation outside. Ordinary families live yet another rhythm. Children are apprenticed to trades, helping manage households, and learning responsibility from an early age. Their lives are shaped by necessity rather than artistry or performance. Imagine a child carrying baskets of rice through narrow streets, following elders, learning their place within society. The contrast between these structured, practical lives and the Oiran's polished, performative existence highlights the range of experiences within Edo society. Within the pleasure quarters themselves, hierarchy is carefully maintained. The Oiran sits at the top, supported by attendants, apprentices, and junior courtesans. Every action, from arranging tea to polishing floors, is part of a system designed to preserve elegance and harmony. Imagine the quiet precision of attendants moving through rooms, ensuring that every detail is perfect, the kimono folds straight, and the lantern light falls just so. This internal hierarchy mirrors larger societal structures, where order, duty, and discipline govern behavior. Yet outside this carefully controlled environment, unpredictability persists. Economic fluctuations, illness, and political changes ripple through the city, affecting everyone from the wealthiest merchant to the youngest apprentice. The Oiran must navigate these external pressures while maintaining the outward appearance of perfection. Imagine the subtle adjustments required, the careful coordination behind closed doors, and the quiet ingenuity necessary to manage both private and public concerns. These contrasts illuminate the full complexity of Edo period life. The Oiran's world is intertwined with, yet distinct from, the broader society. Elegance and discipline coexist with unpredictability and social pressures, creating a delicate balance that requires skill, patience, and subtle awareness. Imagine standing in the lantern-lit streets, observing the interplay of these different worlds, and sensing the quiet resilience that enables individuals to navigate life in such a structured, hierarchical society. Through these observations, we begin to appreciate how Edo society functioned as a network of interdependent yet contrasting lives. The Oiran's grace, discipline, and subtle management of hidden responsibilities are mirrored by the structured diligence of samurai, the resourcefulness of merchants, and the practical routines of ordinary families. Each life contributes to the rhythm of the city, creating a world where elegance, duty, and resilience are woven together in quiet harmony. Preparations and seasonal rituals. Imagine yourself walking through the quiet lanes of Edo as the early morning light softly touches the rooftops. Within the pleasure quarters, the Oiran begins her day with careful attention to both routine and seasonal rituals. These moments are small yet significant, blending personal care with cultural practice and creating a rhythm that carries through the day. Picture an Oiran named Michiko, moving quietly through her chambers. Her attendants bring warm water, clean cloths, and small trays of fragrant teas. Each motion is deliberate, the folding of silk robes, the gentle brushing of hair, and the precise placement of ornaments. Imagine the soft rustle of kimono layers, the delicate clink of hairpins, and the subtle fragrance of incense. These actions, repeated daily, cultivate calm, discipline, and readiness for the public moments to come. Seasonal rituals mark the passage of time and reflect both personal and cultural awareness. In spring, Michiko might prepare small arrangements of cherry blossoms in her room, appreciating their fleeting beauty while quietly incorporating them into her daily aesthetic. Imagine the gentle placement of petals on lacquered trays or the careful arrangement of flowers in a delicate vase. These rituals bring a quiet sense of continuity and connection with the natural world, a reminder of the cycles that shape life outside the quarters. Meals are prepared with precision, reflecting both nutrition and presentation. Small portions of rice, vegetables, and fish are served on lacquered trays, and tea is poured with careful attention to temperature and timing. Imagine the warm aroma of tea mingling with the faint scent of polished wood, the quiet clink of utensils, and the soft sounds of attendants moving through the room. Each act reinforces discipline and calm, shaping the rhythm of the morning. Practice and preparation are central to the Oiran's role. Imagine Michiko taking her shamisen, plucking its strings slowly, creating a gentle, soothing sound that fills the room. Perhaps she practices a short dance, moving with measured steps and precise gestures, perfecting a performance that combines grace, rhythm, and subtle storytelling. Every movement is intentional, reflecting both skill and cultural refinement. Private responsibilities are also carefully woven into daily routines. A hidden child may be cared for by a trusted attendant, or a midwife may check discreetly on health matters. Imagine these small, unseen acts taking place alongside the outward performance of elegance and grace, forming a quiet network of support and care that allows the Oiran to maintain both public and private balance. As the morning progresses, the quarters become a blend of structured activity and personal reflection. Imagine Michiko pausing for a moment, arranging her hair, sipping tea, and appreciating the subtle beauty of the room. The way light reflects off polished wood, the soft fragrance of incense, the gentle rhythm of movement. These moments offer quiet reassurance, a gentle preparation for the structured interactions and social duties that will fill the day. By mid-morning, the Oiran is ready for visitors, her appearance perfected, her mind focused, and her body trained in gesture, posture, and artistry. Imagine stepping back to observe the quarters, the interplay of light, scent, and movement creating a calm, harmonious environment. The daily rituals, combined with seasonal awareness and personal care, reflect a life of discipline, subtle artistry, and quiet resilience, offering both structure and comfort in a world defined by social expectation. The life of Ayam and her quiet challenges. Imagine a young Oiran named Ayam, moving through the polished rooms of her quarters with quiet precision. Each day, she follows routines shaped by years of training, arranging her hair with lacquered combs, folding layers of silk with care, and practicing music and dance until each gesture appears effortless. The beauty and elegance she presents are the product of discipline, skill, and careful attention to detail. Ayam's life is not only shaped by her training, but also by subtle, private concerns. One day, she learns that she is pregnant. In the world of the Oiran, this presents a delicate challenge. Pregnancy could disrupt the carefully maintained image of availability, elegance, and grace. Imagine the quiet deliberation she experiences, weighing her options and planning carefully to navigate the weeks and months ahead without disrupting her public persona. Some Oiran discreetly leave the profession to give birth with the support of family or trusted attendants. Others rely on midwives and private care, managing their condition while continuing to perform their social and artistic duties. In Ayam's case, she decides to continue her routines while discreetly ensuring that her needs and the life growing within her are quietly attended to. Imagine her coordinating with attendants, consulting a midwife, and arranging for small comforts, all while maintaining the outward appearance of elegance expected of her. Her public days continue with careful grace. Imagine Ayam entertaining clients with gentle conversation, music, and dance. Each movement is measured and deliberate, each gesture polished and precise. Behind the calm exterior, she balances private realities, demonstrating both ingenuity and resilience. The contrast between public performance and private management is subtle yet profound, reflecting the quiet complexity of her life. Ayam also relies on the support of her peers and attendants. Fellow Oiran, trusted midwives, and loyal helpers provide guidance, advice, and discretion. Imagine the quiet understanding shared among these women, offering assistance and support while maintaining silence in public. These networks are essential, allowing Ayam to navigate hidden responsibilities with confidence and care. Evenings bring moments of private reflection. Imagine Ayam seated with a brush and ink, composing a short poem, or quietly tending to preparations for a child she may never openly acknowledge. These moments are gentle and intimate, offering solace and perspective amid the structured demands of her work. They reveal the humanity behind the polished exterior, the resilience and quiet strength required to navigate her dual realities. Ayam's story illustrates the broader social and cultural context of Edo period Japan. Oiran were highly skilled and socially valued, yet constrained by expectations of appearance, conduct, and availability. Private matters such as pregnancy, illness, or personal desire had to be carefully managed. Imagine the balance required, the grace, discipline, and subtle intelligence necessary to navigate a world where every gesture is observed and every detail matters. As we leave Ayam for a moment, imagine stepping into the quiet lantern-lit streets outside. The hum of the city is soft, the light gentle, and the rhythm of daily life continues calmly. Her story, like that of many Oiran, demonstrates quiet resilience, careful planning, and the subtle artistry of navigating both public expectation and private concern. It offers a window into a world where elegance, discipline, and discretion coexist, shaping the rhythm of life with subtle beauty and quiet complexity. Secrets behind the elegance. Imagine yourself stepping quietly through the dimly lit corridors of Edo's pleasure quarters, the soft glow of lanterns reflecting off polished wood. Every detail, the arrangement of screens, the delicate ornaments, the faint scent of incense, speaks to a hidden world of ritual, artistry, and carefully maintained discretion. Behind the public elegance of the Oiran, there exists a culture rich in subtlety, practice, and hidden knowledge. One remarkable aspect is the intricate network of attendants and helpers who manage private matters. Picture a small, hidden room where a trusted midwife prepares herbal remedies and tends to delicate health concerns. These secret spaces allow the Oiran to continue her routines and maintain her public persona, even while navigating personal realities like pregnancy, illness, or fatigue. Imagine the soft rustle of paper, the gentle clinking of jars, and the quiet conversations that pass between women sharing knowledge, support, and care. Objects carry meaning beyond their appearance. Hairpins, combs, and ornaments are not simply decorative. They communicate rank, availability, and personal messages. Imagine a hairpin placed at a precise angle, signaling subtle information to attendants or observant clients. Archaeologists have uncovered lacquered trays, combs, and embroidered textiles from old quarters, each telling stories of daily life, careful artistry, and the hidden practices that preserve the balance between public performance and private reality. Music, poetry, and calligraphy are woven into the Oiran's daily life as both practice and ritual. Imagine the gentle strumming of a shamisen filling a quiet room, or the deliberate brushstrokes of ink forming delicate characters on fine paper. These artistic practices cultivate focus, skill, and calm, while also serving as subtle displays of refinement. Every movement, every note, is part of a ritualized rhythm that blends discipline with beauty. The architecture itself is designed to support this balance. Sliding doors allow for private passage, polished floors reflect light and movement, and screens create intimate spaces within public rooms. Imagine walking through these spaces, hearing only the soft tap of wooden sandals and the faint whispers of conversation, and sensing the quiet, deliberate design that allows both discretion and performance to coexist seamlessly. Even simple daily acts, like arranging tea or preparing a meal, carry ritual significance. Imagine the careful placement of sweets on lacquered trays, the measured pouring of tea, and the subtle gestures of care that ensure both elegance and comfort. These routines, though private, are integral to the maintenance of the Oiran's public image and the delicate social balance within the quarters. Finally, this hidden culture reflects broader societal values: discretion, hierarchy, and subtle social intelligence. The Oiran, while performing art and elegance, are masters of subtle negotiation, careful planning, and private responsibility. Imagine the quiet resilience required to maintain both beauty and balance, to navigate public expectation while attending to personal needs, and to preserve harmony in a world where every detail matters. As you step back, imagine the lantern light fading softly, the faint hum of the city outside, and the gentle rhythm of life continuing within the quarters. The hidden world of the Oiran reveals a rich tapestry of artistry, ritual, and subtle care, illustrating how elegance, skill, and quiet ingenuity shape daily life in Edo, Japan. Perspectives beyond the quarters. Imagine stepping out of the soft lantern glow of the pleasure quarters into the wider streets of Edo. The city pulses with life, but each corner and lane reflects a distinct rhythm, shaped by social hierarchy, occupation, and duty. The Oiran's world is contained yet connected, an oasis of elegance and refinement within a bustling society. Picture the samurai moving with deliberate steps, swords at their sides, embodying discipline, honor, and responsibility. Their lives are structured by rigorous training, political obligations, and strict codes of conduct. In contrast, the Oiran's life is a performance of artistry, conversation, and poise. Yet these worlds intersect daily. Samurai, wealthy merchants, and other visitors enter the quarters seeking companionship, refined entertainment, and a carefully curated experience. Imagine the quiet negotiations of expectation, the subtle understanding that unfolds in these interactions, where grace and discipline meet ambition and curiosity. Merchants present a different contrast. Their lives are filled with noise, negotiation, and calculation, concerned with profit and social connections. Yet inside the quarters, they step into an environment of calm, order, and elegance. Imagine the gentle clink of lacquered trays, the soft rustle of silk, and the measured rhythm of conversation that contrasts with the busy market streets outside. In these moments, the quarters become a space of refined respite, a carefully controlled environment that reflects both artistry and social intelligence. Even ordinary families illustrate contrasting rhythms. Children apprentice to trades, parents managing households, and families attending to daily survival live in structured, practical routines. Imagine a child carrying baskets of rice, following instructions, learning responsibility from an early age. Their daily lives contrast sharply with the choreographed, performative existence of the Oiran, yet both worlds reflect discipline, awareness, and social expectation. Within the quarters, hierarchy governs every detail. The Oiran stands at the top, supported by attendants, apprentices, and junior courtesans. Every action, from arranging tea to adjusting a kimono fold, maintains harmony and elegance. Imagine attendants moving silently, ensuring that every gesture, every placement of a tray, every angle of a hairpin preserves the Oiran's carefully curated image. This microcosm mirrors the broader societal structure, where order, awareness, and attention to detail are essential to daily life. Yet life outside the quarters is less predictable. Economic shifts, illness, and political decisions ripple through society, affecting every layer, from samurai to merchants to apprentices. The Oiran must maintain calm and composure within this structured environment while navigating the uncertainties of the larger world. Imagine the quiet adjustments, the careful coordination behind closed doors, and the ingenuity required to preserve both personal and professional balance. These contrasts illuminate the complexity of Edo society. The Oiran's world is intertwined with broader social structures yet remains distinct, a delicate space where elegance, discipline, and subtle social intelligence coexist. Imagine observing this interplay from the street, sensing the resilience, skill, and careful planning required to navigate both public expectation and private responsibility. Through this lens, we see how Edo period society functioned as a network of interdependent yet contrasting lives. The grace of the Oiran, the discipline of samurai, the resourcefulness of merchants, and the practical routines of ordinary families together create a rhythm of life that is both structured and dynamic. Each life contributes to the intricate harmony of the city, illustrating how social roles, personal ingenuity, and resilience are quietly woven into daily existence. Mornings and personal preparations. Imagine the soft light of dawn spilling over the rooftops of Edo, the city slowly stirring as the day begins. Within the pleasure quarters, the Oiran rises with care, moving through a morning routine that blends personal preparation with cultural practice. Each action is deliberate, a measured rhythm that sets the tone for the day. Picture an Oiran named Keiko, opening her eyes to the gentle glow of a lantern and the faint murmur of the city beyond her sliding doors. Attendants move quietly, bringing warm water, folded cloths, and trays of tea. The soft clinking of porcelain and rustle of silk signal the start of a carefully structured day. Imagine the delicate scent of incense mixing with the aroma of fresh tea, creating an atmosphere of calm focus. Keiko begins with personal grooming, folding layers of silk, arranging hair with lacquered combs, and applying subtle touches of makeup. Each movement is precise, almost meditative. Imagine the quiet hum of attendants, the soft swish of fabric, and the rhythmic, soothing motions of preparation. These small acts cultivate discipline, calm, and readiness, preparing both body and mind for the responsibilities of the day. Meals are taken with care, combining nourishment with elegance. Imagine lacquered trays holding small portions of rice, pickled vegetables, and fresh fish, each arranged with aesthetic consideration. Tea is poured slowly, the warmth rising in gentle swirls. These morning rituals provide not only sustenance but a quiet sense of structure, helping the Oiran begin the day with balance and attentiveness. Practice is also central to the morning routine. Keiko may pick up a shamisen, plucking each string with deliberate, measured strokes. Or she may rehearse movements for an upcoming dance, stepping gracefully across polished floors. Imagine the soft sounds of music filling the room, mingling with the faint creak of floorboards, creating a rhythm that soothes the mind while refining skill and poise. Private responsibilities are seamlessly integrated. Perhaps a child is quietly tended by an attendant, or a midwife checks discreetly on personal health. These hidden tasks coexist with public preparation, allowing the Oiran to maintain her image while managing private concerns. Imagine the subtle coordination required, the gentle timing, and the quiet diligence that supports both elegance and personal care. As the morning progresses, the quarters become a space of both calm and anticipation. The Oiran completes her preparation, ensuring every detail, from the folds of her kimono to the placement of ornaments, is perfect. Imagine the soft reflection as she pauses for a moment, appreciating the interplay of light, scent, and movement around her. This attention to detail, repeated day after day, shapes not only appearance but the quiet rhythm and resilience of daily life. By mid-morning, Keiko is ready to greet visitors, her demeanor polished, her skill refined, and her mind attuned to the delicate balance of social and personal expectation. Imagine stepping back, observing the interplay of ritual, preparation, and artistry, and sensing the gentle harmony that defines the daily life of an Oiran. These routines, though quiet, are both grounding and beautiful, forming the steady rhythm of a world filled with subtle grace, skill, and resilience. Hannah's quiet strength. Imagine a young Oiran named Hannah, moving through the polished halls of her quarters with grace and measured precision. Each morning, she begins with careful routines, arranging her hair, folding her kimono layers, and sipping tea in soft, deliberate moments. These practices are both practical and symbolic, shaping the rhythm of her day and preparing her for the interactions to come. Hannah's life is defined by balance, between performance and personal care, between elegance and hidden responsibility. One day, she discovers she is pregnant. In the world of the Oiran, this is a delicate challenge. Pregnancy could interrupt the carefully maintained image of availability and refinement. Imagine Hannah quietly considering her options, coordinating with trusted attendants, and consulting a discreet midwife, all while maintaining her public persona with calm composure. Some Oiran would leave the profession temporarily to give birth, while others continued their routines with the help of midwives and loyal attendants. Hannah chooses the latter, relying on a network of support to manage her condition privately. Imagine the gentle coordination, the quiet care, and the subtle adjustments she makes each day to maintain both health and appearance. These unseen efforts reflect quiet strength and ingenuity, allowing her to navigate a challenging situation with discretion. Her public days remain polished and controlled. Imagine Hannah entertaining clients with conversation, music, and dance, each movement precise and deliberate. Behind the outward grace, she manages private realities with subtle intelligence, demonstrating the resilience necessary to maintain composure in a world where every gesture is observed. The contrast between her public performance and private challenges is both subtle and profound. Evenings provide moments of quiet reflection. Imagine Hannah seated with a brush and paper, composing a short poem or tending to small preparations for a child she cannot openly acknowledge. These acts, gentle and intimate, offer comfort and perspective. They highlight the hidden networks of support that allow her to continue her work while attending to personal responsibilities. Hannah's story illuminates the broader context of Edo period Japan. Oiran were highly skilled, socially valued, and expected to maintain composure and elegance at all times. Private concerns, pregnancy, illness, or personal desire were delicately managed through discreet practices and trusted networks. Imagine the skill and patience required to navigate these dual worlds, maintaining both public poise and private care. As we leave Hannah for a moment, imagine stepping into the quiet streets outside, lanterns casting gentle light across polished wood and stone. The city hums softly, the rhythm of daily life continuing with subtle elegance. Hannah's life, like those of many Oiran, reflects quiet resilience, careful planning, and the art of balancing public expectation with personal reality. It is a life of discipline, grace, and understated strength, quietly shaping the rhythm of Edo's cultural landscape. Art, symbols, and hidden messages. Imagine stepping quietly through the soft-lit corridors of Edo's pleasure quarters, where every object, gesture, and sound carries meaning beyond what is immediately visible. The world of the Oiran is filled with subtle symbolism, artistry, and ritual, creating a delicate balance between public elegance and private complexity. Hairpins, combs, and ornaments serve as more than decoration. Imagine a hairpin placed at a precise angle, signaling rank, availability, or a private message to attendants. Each item, chosen carefully and worn deliberately, communicates information that only the knowledgeable can interpret. Archaeologists have uncovered combs, embroidered fabrics, and lacquered trays that hint at this hidden language. Each artifact reveals the layered culture of the quarters, a quiet communication of hierarchy, grace, and discretion. Music and performance are integral to Oiran life. Imagine the gentle pluck of a shamisen, its notes filling a quiet room, or the soft cadence of a practiced dance. Each movement, each note, is both a display of skill and a subtle reinforcement of social structure. These practices train focus, poise, and artistry, while creating a calming rhythm that defines daily life. Even the simplest gestures, a bow, a folded fan, a hand motion, carry meaning within this carefully orchestrated space. Calligraphy, poetry, and visual arts are also woven into daily routines. Imagine the brush gliding across paper, forming delicate characters with deliberate precision. These creations are not only personal expressions, but also markers of refinement, status, and subtle social engagement. Each work of art reflects discipline, care, and the Oiran's ability to navigate the intersection of beauty and social expectation. The architecture of the quarters supports both discretion and artistry. Sliding doors, polished floors, and decorative screens allow movement and interaction while preserving privacy. Imagine walking through these spaces, hearing only the soft tap of sandals and the faint rustle of silk, sensing the careful planning behind each spatial choice. The physical environment itself reinforces the delicate balance between public presentation and private realities. Even daily routines carry ritual significance. Preparing tea, arranging meals, and tending to rooms are not merely practical tasks. They are opportunities to maintain harmony, elegance, and social order. Imagine the careful placement of a tray, the precise folding of a cloth, or the gentle pouring of tea, each action performed with quiet mindfulness. These small, repeated rituals support both the Oiran's performance and the subtle culture that sustains the quarters. Finally, these hidden practices reflect broader values of Edo society: discretion, awareness, and subtle social intelligence. The Oiran navigates public expectation, private responsibility, and social hierarchy with calm expertise. Imagine the quiet resilience required to maintain beauty, balance, and harmony in every gesture, movement, and interaction. The hidden world of the Oiran reveals a rich tapestry of artistry, ritual, and ingenuity, quietly shaping the rhythm of life within Edo's pleasure quarters. As you step back, imagine the lantern light softening, the hum of the city fading gently into the evening, and the quiet rhythm of hidden lives continuing. The culture of the Oiran is one of subtlety, discipline, and resilience, leaving traces of artistry and human ingenuity for us to quietly discover and appreciate. Life beyond the quarters. Imagine leaving the softly illuminated pleasure quarters and stepping into the streets of Edo as the city hums with life. Each district, each street, and each household follows its own rhythm, shaped by occupation, social hierarchy, and responsibility. The Oiran's world, refined and structured, contrasts sharply with these varied lives, yet it is deeply intertwined with them. Picture the samurai walking through the streets with measured steps, swords at their sides, embodying discipline, honor, and social responsibility. Their days are filled with training, governance, and adherence to strict codes of conduct. In contrast, the Oiran's life revolves around art, conversation, and careful performance. Yet these worlds meet every day, as samurai and wealthy merchants visit the quarters seeking companionship, refined interaction, and elegance. Imagine the subtle exchanges of attention, respect, and skill, where the calm grace of the Oiran meets the disciplined presence of the elite. Merchants present a different rhythm. Their days are full of negotiation, commerce, and practical concerns. Imagine the bustling markets with the smell of fresh fish, rice, and spices, and the clatter of coins and goods. Inside the quarters, however, these same merchants step into a world of calm and ritual. Lacquered trays, delicate ornaments, and soft music create an environment of order and refinement, offering a gentle contrast to the intensity and noise of their daily business. Ordinary families live yet another rhythm. Children apprentice to trades, parents managing households, and families attending to daily survival experience lives shaped by necessity rather than artistry. Imagine a child carrying bundles of rice, learning responsibility, following instructions, and observing social order from an early age. Their lives contrast with the carefully curated elegance of the Oiran, yet both are defined by discipline, awareness, and the fulfillment of social roles. Within the pleasure quarters, hierarchy governs every detail. The Oiran sits at the top, supported by attendants, apprentices, and junior courtesans. Every motion, folding silk, arranging tea, placing ornaments, is performed with care, preserving harmony and elegance. Imagine attendants moving silently, ensuring the perfection of every gesture, reflecting both social structure and personal skill. This microcosm mirrors broader society, where order, duty, and attention to detail are essential. Life beyond the quarters is less predictable. Economic fluctuations, illness, or political change ripple across Edo, affecting every layer of society. The Oiran must maintain composure and grace amidst this uncertainty, coordinating with attendants and midwives to manage private realities while presenting a polished public image. Imagine the quiet intelligence, adaptability, and resilience required to maintain balance in a world where social expectation and personal need often intersect. These contrasts reveal the complexity of Edo society. The Oiran's elegance, the samurai's discipline, the merchant's resourcefulness, and the practical routines of ordinary families together create a subtle rhythm that defines the city. Each life contributes to a carefully woven network of interdependent yet contrasting experiences, illustrating how social roles, personal ingenuity, and resilience are quietly cultivated and maintained. As you step back, Imagine observing the city from a soft distance, sensing the gentle flow of lives and the delicate harmony that connects them. The Oiran's world, though distinct, is deeply embedded in the broader society, a testament to the subtle balance between beauty, discipline, and human ingenuity that shaped Edo Japan. Afternoon rituals and subtle practices. Imagine the sun climbing higher over Edo, the streets alive with quiet movement, the air carrying a mixture of incense, food aromas, and the distant murmur of city life. Within the pleasure quarters, the Oiran continues her day, moving through afternoon rituals that blend refinement, skill, and subtle personal care. Each act is deliberate, creating a rhythm that both structures the day and calms the mind. Picture an Oiran named Satsuki, walking softly through polished corridors, her silk kimono swaying gently with each step. Attendants follow closely, carrying trays of tea, small sweets, and delicate scrolls for practice. Imagine the quiet clink of porcelain, the rustle of fabric, and the soft fragrance of incense filling the air. A calm symphony of sensory details that guide the pace of the afternoon. Afternoon practice is central to the Oiran's life. Satsuki may sit with her shamisen, plucking each string slowly, listening to the resonance that fills the room. Or she may rehearse movements for a dance, stepping across polished floors with deliberate precision. Imagine the soft rhythm of each movement, the gentle echo of steps on wood, and the meditative quality of repeated practice. These rituals cultivate skill, elegance, and a quiet focus that carries through every aspect of daily life. Meals and refreshments are taken with the same care. Imagine lacquered trays holding seasonal fruits, small portions of rice, or delicately prepared sweets. Tea is poured slowly, its warmth rising in subtle swirls. Each act, however small, reflects both aesthetic sensibility and practical necessity, offering nourishment while reinforcing a calming, structured rhythm. Private responsibilities are seamlessly woven into these routines. Perhaps an attendant checks discreetly on a hidden child, or a midwife observes health matters without disrupting the day's flow. Imagine these unseen acts occurring alongside music practice, dance rehearsals, and the arrangement of tea, all managed with quiet attention and subtle coordination. This blending of public performance and private care demonstrates the skill, awareness, and gentle ingenuity required to maintain balance. Satsuki's day is punctuated by moments of reflection. Imagine her pausing by a window, observing the soft play of light on rooftops, the faint rustle of leaves, and the distant sounds of a city in motion. These moments are gentle, grounding, and restorative, offering both calm and clarity as she prepares for the social interactions and performances that will follow. As the afternoon unfolds, the quarters remain a space of quiet elegance. Every sound, scent, and gesture contributes to the rhythm of life, cultivating both skill and composure. Imagine stepping back, observing the interplay of practice, ritual, and subtle care, and sensing the gentle harmony that defines the daily life of an Oiran. Through these routines, a world of discipline, artistry, and resilience quietly continues, shaping each day with calm precision and understated beauty. The resilience of Midori. Imagine a young Oiran named Midori, moving gracefully through the soft-lit corridors of her quarters. Her days are carefully structured, blending personal preparation, artistic practice, and social interaction. Each gesture, folding a kimono, arranging a tray of tea, or plucking a shamisen string, is deliberate and precise, a reflection of the discipline and skill cultivated over years. Midori's life, like that of many Oiran, is defined by balance and resilience. One morning, she discovers she is pregnant. In the world of the Oiran, this presents a complex challenge. Pregnancy could affect her public image, her availability, and the perception of her refinement. Imagine her quiet contemplation, considering how to navigate this personal reality while continuing her daily responsibilities and maintaining the polished demeanor expected of her. Some Oiran might leave the profession to give birth in private, supported by family or trusted attendants. Others, like Midori, continue their routines with careful management. Imagine her discreet consultations with a midwife, coordination with trusted attendants, and subtle adjustments to her daily schedule. These unseen efforts reflect ingenuity, foresight, and resilience, allowing her to maintain both public composure and personal care. Her public interactions remain polished. Imagine Midori entertaining clients with calm conversation, gentle music, and measured gestures. Behind the elegance, she manages private realities with careful planning. The contrast between her public performance and private life is subtle yet significant, illustrating the quiet intelligence and perseverance required to navigate the dual worlds of duty and personal need. Evenings offer moments of reflection and preparation. Imagine Midori seated with a brush and ink, composing a short poem or attending to a small, hidden responsibility. These quiet acts provide comfort and perspective, a gentle reminder of her agency and the networks of support surrounding her. The presence of attendants, midwives, and trusted peers ensures that her private needs are managed without disrupting the balance of her public life. Midori's story illuminates broader social and cultural dynamics. The Oiran were highly skilled, socially valued, and expected to maintain poise at all times. Private concerns, pregnancy, illness, or personal matters required careful discretion and subtle negotiation. Imagine the awareness, patience, and ingenuity necessary to sustain a life in which every gesture, every movement, and every interaction carries meaning. As you step back into the quiet streets of Edo, imagine lantern light reflecting softly on polished wood and stone. The hum of the city continues gently in the distance, and the rhythm of daily life moves on. Midori's life, like that of many Oiran, exemplifies quiet resilience, careful planning, and the delicate art of balancing public expectation with private reality. It is a life of grace, subtle intelligence, and understated strength, quietly shaping the rhythm of the pleasure quarters and the culture of Edo. Hidden codes and subtle artistry. Imagine yourself moving quietly through the serene corridors of Edo's pleasure quarters, where every object, movement, and sound carries layers of meaning. The world of the Oiran is a blend of artistry, ritual, and careful social intelligence, a space where subtlety governs both public performance and private life. Every ornament and accessory holds significance beyond its beauty. Picture a hairpin carefully placed, a fan folded just so, or a kimono pattern chosen for its symbolic meaning. Archaeologists have uncovered combs, lacquered trays, and embroidered textiles that hint at a hidden language of gestures, rank, and communication. Each object reflects discipline, intention, and a refined understanding of social nuance. Imagine the quiet thoughtfulness required to navigate this intricate visual code, where a single misplaced detail could shift perception. Music and dance are central to the Oiran's cultural practice. Imagine the gentle strum of a shamisen, the faint echo of soft footsteps across polished floors, and the deliberate grace of a practiced dance. Every movement, every note, is both a display of skill and a subtle signal to those attuned to its meaning. These artistic rituals are calming in themselves, cultivating focus and elegance, while subtly communicating refinement and knowledge of social expectation. Calligraphy, poetry, and small creative works provide another layer of expression. Imagine the brush gliding over paper, forming characters with careful precision, each stroke deliberate and meditative. These creations are quietly admired by peers, attendants, and clients, and serve as markers of sophistication, intelligence, and personal refinement. They also offer the Oiran a private outlet for thought, reflection, and subtle storytelling. The architecture of the quarters supports discretion, artistry, and ritual. Sliding doors, polished floors, and folding screens create spaces for private practice, intimate conversation, and controlled interaction. Imagine walking through these rooms, hearing only the soft rustle of fabric, the gentle tap of sandals, and the quiet murmur of conversation. Each space, each structural detail, supports the delicate balance between public performance and private management of life's complexities. Even the simplest daily routines, like preparing tea or arranging a small meal, are imbued with ritual and care. Imagine the careful placement of sweets on lacquered trays, the precise pouring of tea, and the subtle gestures that maintain harmony and elegance. These small acts reflect not only refinement, but also a constant attention to detail and social intelligence, creating a calming rhythm for both the Oiran and those around her. Through these hidden codes and subtle practices, the Oiran's world reveals itself as a rich, disciplined culture. It is a space where artistry, ritual, and social knowledge converge, creating both beauty and order. Imagine the quiet ingenuity, focus, and resilience that allow these women to maintain elegance, discretion, and harmony in every gesture, movement, and interaction. The hidden culture of the pleasure quarters, though discreet, offers insight into a sophisticated, nuanced society where every detail matters. Edo beyond the quarters. Imagine stepping out from the quiet elegance of the pleasure quarters into the wider streets of Edo, where the rhythm of life varies according to social standing, occupation, and duty. The world of the Oiran, with its carefully maintained grace and ritual, contrasts sharply with the bustling and practical lives of the city's other inhabitants. Picture the samurai moving with disciplined steps, swords at their sides, embodying order, loyalty, and social responsibility. Their days are structured by training, governance, and strict codes of conduct. The Oiran's life, in contrast, revolves around artistry, conversation, and subtle performance. Yet these two worlds intersect daily. Imagine samurai or wealthy merchants entering the quarters, seeking refined entertainment, companionship, and the elegance offered by the Oiran's carefully cultivated presence. The interaction is gentle, ritualized, and respectful, a meeting of discipline and refinement in a calm, controlled space. Merchants experience yet another rhythm. Their lives are filled with negotiation, trade, and constant calculation. Imagine the lively markets, the sounds of coins and goods exchanging hands, and the smells of fresh food and spices. When they step into the quarters, however, they enter an environment of calm, order, and artistry. Soft music, polished floors, and delicate tea service offer a subtle contrast, a pause from the intensity of their daily commerce. Ordinary families experience a different set of routines. Children apprentice to trades, parents managing households, and families attending to daily survival live in a world of practical concern. Imagine a child delivering rice bundles or learning to follow instructions carefully. Their lives emphasize responsibility, endurance, and diligence. The Oiran's structured elegance stands in quiet contrast, illustrating the diversity of rhythm, discipline, and social expectation in Edo society. Within the pleasure quarters, hierarchy shapes every detail. The Oiran is at the top, supported by attendants, junior courtesans, and apprentices. Every gesture, from arranging silk to placing ornaments or pouring tea, is performed with precision. Imagine attendants moving silently to maintain perfection, reflecting not only hierarchy, but also the subtle social intelligence that keeps daily life harmonious. This microcosm mirrors the broader city, where order, discipline, and careful coordination are essential. Life beyond the quarters is less controlled. Economic fluctuations, illness, and political decisions ripple through society, affecting everyone. The Oiran maintains composure and grace amidst these uncertainties, coordinating discreetly to manage personal matters while sustaining her public role. Imagine the calm awareness and adaptability required to balance private need with social expectation in a world where small details hold significant weight. These contrasts reveal the complexity of Edo society. The elegance of the Oiran, the discipline of the samurai, the resourcefulness of merchants, and the practical routines of ordinary families together create a quiet, interwoven rhythm. Each life contributes to the subtle balance of the city, showing how social roles, personal skill, and resilience are cultivated in diverse ways. As you step back, imagine observing the city from a distance. The streets hum softly, lanterns glow gently, and lives continue in their varied, contrasting rhythms. The Oiran's world, though distinct, is part of this broader social tapestry, a delicate balance of artistry, discipline, and quiet ingenuity shaping life in Edo. Evening routines and reflection. Imagine the soft glow of lanterns flickering across the wooden floors of the pleasure quarters, as the day begins to wind down. The streets of Edo outside are quieter now, carrying the faint sounds of distant footsteps and rustling leaves. Inside, the Oiran's world moves with deliberate calm, each gesture and routine measured to sustain elegance, composure, and subtle social harmony. Picture an Oiran named Yumi, moving through the quiet halls of her quarters. Her kimono brushes softly against the polished floor as attendants follow, carrying trays of tea, small sweets, and a few scrolls for practice. Imagine the gentle rustle of silk, the soft clink of porcelain, and the faint, calming aroma of incense filling the air. A subtle symphony of sights, sounds, and scents guiding the evening's rhythm. Evening practice remains central to daily life. Yumi may sit with her shamisen, plucking each string slowly, listening to the soft resonance that fills the room. Or she may rehearse a dance, her movements deliberate and controlled, echoing the grace cultivated throughout the day. Imagine each step, each note as part of a meditative rhythm, offering focus and calm while refining artistry and poise. Meals and tea provide another layer of evening ritual. Imagine lacquered trays holding small portions of seasonal fruits, delicately prepared rice, or soft sweets. Tea is poured slowly, its warmth rising in gentle swirls. These quiet rituals nourish both body and mind, reinforcing the steady rhythm of the day and offering moments of reflection. Private care continues alongside public preparation. Attendants may discreetly tend to personal matters, ensuring comfort, health, and subtle attention to hidden responsibilities. Imagine the gentle coordination required, the soft-spoken words of guidance, and the quiet presence that allows both public elegance and private care to coexist seamlessly. Evenings also provide moments of personal reflection. Picture Yumi seated by a softly lit window, observing the lantern-lit streets beyond. The city hums quietly, distant voices blending with the faint rustle of leaves. She may compose a short poem, adjust her attire for the next day, or simply pause in quiet thought. These moments of calm reflection cultivate inner balance and sustain resilience, forming an essential part of her daily rhythm. As night deepens, the quarters settle into a gentle quiet. Each action, each sound, and each gesture contributes to a harmonious, measured pace. Imagine stepping back and sensing the calm order, the artistry, and the subtle social intelligence that define life within the pleasure quarters. The evening, with its rituals, reflection, and delicate care, concludes the day with grace, preparing the Oiran for rest and the steady rhythm of tomorrow. The grace and challenges of Michiko. Imagine a young Oiran named Michiko, moving through the lantern-lit corridors of her quarters with gentle precision. Her day has been full of measured movements, music, and delicate social interaction, each moment reflecting years of disciplined training. Every gesture, folding silk, arranging tea, or adjusting a hair ornament, is part of the artistry and ritual that defines her life. One day, Michiko discovers she is pregnant. In the structured world of the Oiran, this creates a subtle but significant challenge. Pregnancy could interfere with her carefully maintained image of elegance, availability, and social poise. Imagine her quiet reflection as she considers her options, balancing personal need with professional expectation, all within the discreet support of attendants and trusted midwives. Some Oiran might leave temporarily to give birth in privacy, while others, like Michiko, continue their routines with careful management. Imagine the gentle adjustments she makes each day, coordinating with attendants, managing rest, and attending to her health discreetly, all while maintaining her public persona. This requires subtle planning, foresight, and resilience, demonstrating the quiet strength necessary in a world where appearance and discipline are paramount. Michiko's public interactions remain polished. Imagine her performing music, conversing softly, and moving with graceful precision. Behind this elegance, she carefully navigates private realities, blending artistry, social skill, and personal care. The contrast between public display and private management illustrates the layered complexity of her life and the ingenuity required to maintain balance. Evenings offer gentle moments of reflection. Picture Michiko seated with ink and paper, composing a small poem, arranging delicate objects, or quietly tending to preparations for the future. These private acts provide solace, perspective, and an opportunity to nurture both body and spirit. The support of attendants and midwives ensures her needs are quietly met, allowing her to continue her responsibilities with composure and grace. Michiko's experience illuminates broader cultural and social dynamics. The Oiran were skilled, socially valued, and expected to maintain poise at all times. Personal matters, such as pregnancy or illness, had to be discreetly managed through networks of support and careful coordination. Imagine the patience, skill, and subtle intelligence required to navigate these dual realities, preserving both public image and personal well-being. As you imagine stepping back into the quiet streets of Edo, lantern light reflects softly on polished wood and stone. The city hums gently, the rhythm of daily life continuing in soft, measured flows. Michiko's life, like those of many Oiran, exemplifies resilience, balance, and subtle artistry, quietly shaping the rhythm and culture of Edo's pleasure quarters. It is a life of grace, discretion, and understated strength, moving with elegance through both public and private worlds. Rituals, objects, and hidden knowledge. Imagine yourself walking slowly through the quiet corridors of Edo's pleasure quarters, where every object, gesture, and subtle sound carries meaning. The world of the Oiran is layered with artistry, ritual, and careful social intelligence, blending public elegance with private complexity. Objects within the quarters are imbued with significance. Picture a delicately carved hairpin, a lacquered tray, or an embroidered kimono panel. Archaeologists have uncovered such items, revealing not only beauty but a hidden language of rank, availability, and social signaling. Each artifact demonstrates the careful thought and refined awareness that define the Oiran's environment. Imagine the precision and attention required to interpret and maintain this subtle code, where a single gesture or placement could communicate meaning without words. Music, dance, and performance remain central to the Oiran's culture. Imagine the soft, rhythmic strum of a shamisen echoing through a room, the measured, deliberate steps of a practiced dance, and the gentle rustle of silk accompanying each movement. These practices are calming and meditative, fostering focus, elegance, and composure, while also serving as subtle demonstrations of skill, refinement, and social intelligence. Calligraphy, poetry, and small artistic creations provide another layer of expression. Picture the brush gliding over paper, forming delicate characters with careful precision. These acts are both private and social, markers of refinement, intelligence, and personal cultivation. They offer the Oiran quiet moments of reflection and provide subtle signals of sophistication to those who can observe or interpret them. The architecture itself supports discretion, artistry, and ritual. Sliding doors, folding screens, and polished floors create spaces for private conversation, intimate practice, and controlled performance. Imagine the quiet footsteps, the soft rustle of fabric, and the gentle murmur of voices, as the design allows both privacy and interaction. Each structural detail reinforces the delicate balance between public presence and private care, creating an environment of elegance and subtle guidance. Even ordinary routines, like preparing tea or arranging meals, are conducted with precision and ritual. Imagine the measured placement of sweets on a tray, the slow, careful pour of tea, and the attention to small gestures that maintain harmony and grace. These acts cultivate calm, structure, and elegance, demonstrating the quiet intelligence and artistry woven into daily life. Through these objects, rituals, and hidden practices, the Oiran's world reveals itself as a sophisticated and nuanced culture. It is a space where artistry, discipline, and social awareness converge, creating both beauty and order. Imagine the quiet resilience, attention, and skill required to maintain this balance, shaping every gesture, step, and interaction within the pleasure quarters. The hidden culture of the Oiran, though discreet, offers a rich tapestry of human ingenuity, artistry, and quiet sophistication waiting to be discovered and appreciated. Interwoven rhythms of Edo. Imagine leaving the quiet, elegant corridors of the pleasure quarters and stepping into the broader streets of Edo, where the pace of life varies according to occupation, social standing, and responsibility. The Oiran's world, refined and deliberate, contrasts with the rhythms of the city, yet it is intimately connected to them, forming part of a complex social tapestry. Picture the samurai moving with careful, measured steps, swords at their sides, embodying honor, discipline, and duty. Their days are structured by training, political obligations, and strict codes of conduct. The Oiran's life, in contrast, revolves around artistry, conversation, and delicate performance. Yet these worlds intersect daily. Imagine samurai or wealthy merchants entering the quarters, seeking companionship, entertainment, and the elegance provided by the Oiran's polished presence. These interactions are calm, ritualized, and respectful, a meeting of structure and refinement in a controlled, graceful environment. Merchants provide yet another rhythm. Their days are filled with negotiation, calculation, and the constant attention to commerce. Imagine bustling marketplaces, the sound of coins and goods exchanging hands, and the smell of food and spices. When merchants enter the pleasure quarters, they step into a contrasting space of calm, ritual, and artistry. Soft music, lacquered trays, and measured gestures provide a gentle pause from the intensity of their daily work. Ordinary families live in practical, structured routines. Children apprentice to trades, parents managing households, and families attending to survival move through days shaped by responsibility and endurance. Imagine a child delivering bundles of rice, following instructions, learning patience, and understanding social roles. The Oiran's cultivated elegance stands in quiet contrast, illustrating the diversity of discipline, rhythm, and expectation across Edo society. Within the pleasure quarters, hierarchy governs every detail. The Oiran sits at the top, supported by attendants, apprentices, and junior courtesans. Every movement, from arranging silk to placing tea, adjusting ornaments, or folding fabric, is precise and deliberate. Imagine attendants moving quietly to maintain perfection, reflecting the subtle social intelligence that preserves harmony and order. This microcosm mirrors the broader city, where careful coordination, discipline, and awareness shape daily life. Life outside the quarters is less predictable. Economic fluctuations, illness, and political decisions ripple through society, affecting everyone. The Oiran must maintain composure, navigating private matters while fulfilling public expectations. Imagine the gentle awareness, adaptability, and quiet resilience required to balance personal need with social responsibility in a world where small details can carry significance. These contrasts highlight the complexity of Edo society. The elegance of the Oiran, the discipline of the samurai, the resourcefulness of merchants, and the practical routines of ordinary families together create a subtle, interwoven rhythm. Each life contributes to the city's delicate balance, showing how social roles, personal skill, and resilience are cultivated across different walks of life. As you imagine stepping back, observe the city from a distance. Lantern light glimmers on polished wood and stone. The soft hum of activity continues, and each life moves in its distinct rhythm. The Oiran's world, though distinct, is part of this larger social fabric, a testament to the subtle balance of artistry, discipline, and ingenuity that defines Edo. Nighttime preparations and quiet moments. Imagine the city of Edo bathed in soft moonlight, lanterns casting gentle shadows along the streets, and a faint hush settling over the rooftops. Within the pleasure quarters, the Oiran moves through the final rhythms of her day, each action deliberate, measured, and quietly soothing. The evening is a time for reflection, subtle practice, and careful preparation, allowing the day to close with grace. Picture an Oiran named Akiko, moving slowly through her quarters, her kimono brushing lightly against polished wood floors. Attendants follow with trays of tea, small confections, and soft linens. Imagine the faint clink of porcelain, the rustle of silk, and the gentle scent of incense rising in the quiet room. A serene harmony of sensations that guides the pace of the evening. Nighttime practice offers both skill refinement and calm. Akiko may play the shamisen with soft, measured plucks, listening to the lingering resonance in the room. Or she may rehearse a dance in slow, deliberate steps, each movement echoing the elegance cultivated throughout the day. Imagine this meditative rhythm, the gentle repetition offering focus, discipline, and a soothing structure as the day winds down. Meals and tea continue as a form of ritual. Imagine lacquered trays with carefully arranged seasonal fruits, small rice portions, or delicate sweets. Tea is poured slowly, its warmth rising in quiet spirals, grounding both body and mind. Each gesture, small and intentional, reflects discipline, mindfulness, and the artistry woven into daily life. Private care remains discreet but essential. Attendants ensure personal comfort, manage minor health concerns, or attend to hidden responsibilities. Imagine the quiet coordination, the soft words of reassurance, and the gentle movements that preserve both public composure and private well-being. These acts of support allow the Oiran to maintain balance, elegance, and resilience even as night deepens. Evenings also provide space for introspection. Picture Akiko seated by a window, gazing at the moonlight glimmering on rooftops, the faint hum of distant activity, and the rustling leaves outside. She may compose a brief poem, organize personal items, or simply sit in quiet reflection. These moments foster calm, clarity, and inner strength, closing the day with thoughtfulness and subtle elegance. As the night grows deeper, the quarters settle into stillness. Each movement, each sound, and each gesture contributes to a gentle rhythm, allowing both body and mind to transition toward rest. Imagine stepping back, sensing the soft harmony, the quiet artistry, and the subtle social intelligence that define life within the pleasure quarters. The day concludes with grace, careful attention, and a gentle preparation for tomorrow's rhythm. Reflection, harmony, and rest. Imagine the quiet streets of Edo at night, lanterns softly glowing, casting gentle pools of light across wooden beams and stone paths. The city moves slowly now, a rhythm of subtle sounds, the faint rustle of leaves, the distant murmur of footsteps, and the soft whisper of wind through bamboo. Within the pleasure quarters, the day has concluded, and the Oiran rests after hours of deliberate practice, graceful performance, and quiet attention to both public and private responsibilities. Reflect on the stories you have encountered today. You have moved through the daily routines, the rituals, and the careful artistry of women like Hana, Midori, Michiko, and Akiko. You have observed their discipline, subtle intelligence, and resilience. Imagine the quiet strength required to balance public expectation with private needs, to maintain elegance, composure, and skill amidst a world that values perception as much as reality. Consider the broader rhythms of Edo society. The The disciplined samurai, the resourceful merchants, the ordinary families managing daily life, and the refined artistic world of the pleasure quarters. Each life, each role, contributes to the delicate tapestry of the city. The contrasts you have explored reveal how discipline, artistry, and subtle intelligence shape daily experience, creating harmony from diverse rhythms. Imagine stepping back and viewing the city as a whole, feeling the gentle pulse of interwoven lives, the ebb and flow of routine and ritual, and the quiet ingenuity that sustains order and elegance. The lessons of the Oiran extend beyond their own quarters. They reveal the artistry of human resilience, the care in daily practice, and the importance of balance, discretion, and thoughtful attention to detail. Now, let your mind drift with the rhythm you have observed. Imagine lantern light fading into the distance, soft music echoing in memory, and the gentle calm of the night settling around you. The quiet moments, the deliberate gestures, and the artistry of daily life can now ease you toward rest. Reflect on the beauty and subtlety, the grace and balance, and the harmony that exists when care, skill, and thoughtfulness shape every action. As you prepare for sleep, carry with you the gentle rhythms of Edo, the measured steps, the soft sounds, the quiet reflection, and the intricate elegance of lives lived with awareness and care. Allow the calm, deliberate pace of these stories to guide you into rest, letting each breath, each heartbeat, and each quiet thought dissolve into a peaceful night. The past, with all its structure, artistry, and resilience, now gently ushers you into the calm of sleep, leaving you with a sense of quiet harmony and thoughtful reflection.